What is up, Loudmouth Sports Talk Sports Group? It's off the top rope with Luch. Sean is occupied at the moment. But before we get started, everyone, please remember bombshellbowling.com. Go get your Loudmouth Sports Talk shirt. And right now we have hoodies on pre-sale. Get yours before they are gone. We're going to get right into the recaps, and we have a lot of news this week. So we're just going to fly through the recaps of this week. Let's start off with Raw. Cruz versus Benjamin. Cruz wins. Shelton pins Truth for the 24/7 title. We had Angel Garza versus Ivar. Garza wins. We had Dawkins got a clip from Joe of Selena messing with Ford's cup, so he was poisoned. We have Natalia versus Mickie James. Natalia wins. They barely even showed the match. Really disrespectful to Mickie James, if you ask me. And then we had Bailey and Banks versus Asuka and Shayna Baszler. During the match, Nia Jax comes out and runs Baszler out of there. But Asuka and Shayna end up winning. Liv Morgan versus Peyton. Peyton wins that one. Underground and Eric from the Viking Raiders was on it. It was good. Then we had Eric versus Dolph on Underground. Dolph chokes him out. I think Dolph is a really good thing for Underground. Then we had Ray and Dominic come out and cut a promo on Seth and Murphy, mostly just Seth. Then we had Arutu versus Grimmick Moss. It was from Underground. No one wins. Then we had Ali, Ricochet, and Apollo versus MVP, Lashley, and Shelton. 6-man elimination tag. I was actually really excited to see a elimination tag. Let me see. Ali was gone first, then Ricochet, then Shelton, then MVP, and then Cruz got eliminated. So the Hurt Business did win. After Shelton got eliminated, Cedric Alexander comes down and gets the 24/7 title. Then we had another Underground match, and Nia comes out. It was the 4 horsewomen. There's only 3 on, though, at the moment. Then we had Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler, but Jax leaves. Andrade versus Ford. Ford wins. I was happy to see Ford back. I'm starting to like him, like the Street Profits more and more each week. And then Sean comes out to tell Randy how he feels and gets punted in the head, and that was not a good sell, Sean. It was not a good sell. Then we have SmackDown, Thunderdome, the opening of it. The big one. So it starts off with Vince saying, welcome to the Thunderdome. And then the Fiend comes out. Braun comes out. And then Retribution surrounds the ring. And the Fiend waves by and leaves. And it blacks out and he's gone. And then Braun and the SmackDown locker room continue to fight them. And the SmackDown locker room won. Then we had Big E versus Sheamus. Big E won. Shinsuke and Cesaro versus Lucha House Party for the tag team championships. Cesaro and Shinsuke win. Banks and Bailey come out, talk about Asuka. And Naomi comes out and says, I'll fight both of you. And in a beat the clock challenge, and the loser has to face Asuka first. So beat the clock challenge, Banks versus Naomi. Sasha wins in 3:39. But then Naomi versus Bailey, and Naomi wins, beating the time. So Sasha goes second, and Bailey goes first. So it's awesome. I'm really liking this. And then we go to Deville cuts promo about Mandy Rose losing her hair, and she said that's not enough. For us to make it even bigger, the champion loses. The person who loses has to leave WWE. And me and Sean will actually get into that topic a little bit later. Then we had Jeff versus AJ Styles for IC match. And Jeff, again, gets a title back. And I was actually really happy to see it. Then it ends with the Firefly Funhouse. But during the Firefly Funhouse, Braun shows up and attacks Bray. Drags Bray out and says, I'm not finished with you. Brings him to the arena and chokeslams him where in the parking lot on the concrete. So when they bring the ambulance to pick him up, they start driving away, but then the ambulance stops, reverses, and the Fiend ends up being in there. And with his creepy laugh, he ends the show. So that was Raw and SmackDown. At the moment, I am not watching NXT. I will have an update of AEW on Loudmouth Sports Group tomorrow since it's on tonight.
Yes.
We just got over the recaps of the week. And let's get into some topics of today.
Absolutely.
The big one, let's get into Sonya Deville with the loser versus her and Mandy leaves WWE. And me and you actually, I believe, texted a little bit about this. And
yes, we did.
Said, we think that Sonya Deville needs some time away.
Absolutely. You know, she had this horrific tragedy happen to her. Guy, I mean, listen, we're fans through and through. But it comes to a point where you have to realize that all it is being a fan. And it's almost like literally, guys, it's almost like you go to a strip bar and the stripper's flirting with you and you really think she wants to take you home and all she wants is your money. In this situation, one, Sonya Deville is lesbian. So she does not date guys. She has a relationship with another woman.
Yes.
And they're happily together. I think they actually are engaged at this point.
I believe so.
So I mean, I get it. I get the fans get to a point where they become obsessed, and it's a scary thing. But to show up at the person's house to stalk them like he did, I mean, you are one sick individual.
For the fact,
and thank God that he didn't get his bond released. But
it's just crazy.
There's a video out there now of her testifying, and actually they show the video of him entering her home and her taking off running, scared because he showed up in a black mask, and the text messages were just
Mandy was actually in the house also. Everybody knows.
Yeah, Mandy was in the house also. So
this could have ended terribly, and if we think about it, I mean, like Sean said, we're fans, you know, but it's entertainment, people, and you have to understand this, that they're here to entertain us, and it stops there. It stops right there. I'm just
happy that she's okay, that her family's okay, that Mandy's okay, that everybody's okay. And I think with this loser leaves WWE is a great selling point for her, so that she can take the loss, she can take time away, you know, to heal, definitely to heal, and to come back eventually in the future, you know. And not come back, maybe not at Raw or SmackDown, but maybe Underground. I think she'd do really well with the WWE Underground.
Yeah, maybe,
you know, coming back and helping with the likes of what do you want to call it? What's her name? Who's down there now with the girls
in Underground?
In Underground, the girl Shayna and
then the Four Horsewomen.
The Four Horsewomen. I think it'd be a great transition for her to go to Underground, but like we said, we're just happy that she's okay and everybody's doing well.
I think she needs a big break.
Yes,
a long one. I think she needs to get her head on straight and everything. Oh, what's up, Justin? I see you, my man.
Justin, tuning in every week.
Every week,
he's going to become our number one fan here shortly.
And I just think that people need to understand that, like, there's lines, you know, for any celebrity, you know, you just don't cross them. For me, people start crossing lines when they start asking female wrestlers to take like prom pictures and stuff like that. If there's no need to get real handsy in a meet and greet.
Yeah, and I think WWE has changed the rules now that
they have.
No touching. There's no touching in the pictures. So
No touching at all, because I mean, you have to, if you go
I mean,
look up
one, the
some of
coronavirus. One, the
Well, yeah.
coronavirus. But
but if you go look up some of the pictures, you can search wrestling fans prom pictures,
oh yeah,
and the women look so uncomfortable. Like, respect for the females more than anything not to do something like this.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that Sonya Deville needs to take a heal mentally, physically,
Emotionally,
maybe
everything.
move, get a new house, maybe something different. I know it's hard for people to hide addresses and stuff nowadays. I know, but it's possible. It is, and
Yeah.
I hope the best for her in the upcoming months for her.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we definitely do.
So
Another topic: Seth Rollins with his.
I agree.
Woo, every time he said, every time WWE gives the fans what they want, we boo it, and
I agree.
I agree.
It's true. It is very true.
People wanted Roman Reigns for so long. They wanted him to win that one Royal Rumble where I think Batista won or something like that.
In Pittsburgh, we booed him out of that building.
Yeah, booed him out of the building. They finally give the fans Roman Reigns, and the fans just go, nope.
Because in my opinion, I think each fan has a specific way they want a wrestler to be done. Want a wrestler to be pushed and everything. I have, I've thought about ways for Aleister Black. I've thought about ways for everybody to get pushed after Rey Mysterio and everything. But it's true. I mean, it is. We want things, and then when Vince goes, okay, I'm going to give it to you, might not be how you want it,
but we're going to give it to you.
The fan looks at it and goes, well, it's what I want, but it's not. You painted half the picture and not the full picture, so it sucks.
And listen, guys, the fans out there, they're giving you what you want, not how you want it. Okay, it's not Burger King, have it my way. It's I want this. We're going to give you that product, but it might not be in the way, because every fan's different. Like, I think of ways that Aleister Black can come back in after this whole Rey Mysterio thing. But you have a different Luch. You have a different way of doing it. I have a different way.
Yeah.
I want to see him do it. You can't give every single fan exactly what they want every single time. You can't. You have to give them and present them like, here, we're going to give you Roman Reigns,
but we're going to give you a watered down
Roman Reigns. We're not, unfortunately, this is how we're going to go about it. But be happy they gave you Roman Reigns. They gave him the push that you've been wanting him to have.
How many people actually wanted that, though?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are. If you listen, honestly, if you did listen, I listened to the podcast of Triple H, and he says that Roman, at the time when he did the podcast with Stone Cold, he said Roman Reigns is actually getting cheers in the crowd. He's actually selling out crowds. People are coming to see him. People do want to see him. People are cheering for him.
The boos just overpower the cheer.
Boos overpower it. But there's people out there that want him. That want Roman Reigns.
I get it, but it's like
you
can't please us all.
Can't please everybody. But I think the kids, they're getting the kids' version of Roman Reigns, which WWE has always been focused on the kids. It's always been about the kids. It's never been about the adult. So the adult fans out there have to realize Roman Reigns is they're about the kids now.
They are.
Attitude era, okay.
A little bit of the ruthless aggression. It was more for teens. Now, young adults.
Yeah, now we're getting back to the kids. We're getting back to the kids, teens type deal. Because teens, adults is the underground, but everything else is the kids.
So speaking of that, AJ Styles came out and said, I recently just shared it to a Loudmouth Sports group, that we cannot go Attitude Era because fans are too sensitive.
Absolutely. I truly believe that.
Me too. I agree. Everybody wants something done. Everybody wanted PG-14 SmackDown. Everybody was excited. This week, PG. It wasn't PG-14.
Yeah, it was PG.
It was PG. It's. I just feel that we can't have what I grew up on, and we can't have what you grew up on.
No.
For example, I was watching some old school stuff just the other day, and it was when Lita beat Stephanie.
Yeah.
And Triple H gave her a pedigree that looked so ruthless that people today would not be okay with that.
Oh, no.
You know,
they would be calling for Vince's head. If he gave them the attitude era that he gave to us in the 90s and the early 2000s, people would call for Vince's head.
Bro. It could it happen? Yes. I can see it happening. Will it happen and be popular?
No.
No. Will it be popular? What they need to do, 2 hours, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. That's Raw for the children. Put them kids to bed. Now give me what I want. Give me the Attitude Era. Yeah. Underground needs to stop being between matches.
Yeah, it does.
Underground needs to be the last hour. You want, to be honest, when it pops up, it's like, oh, Eric from the from the Viking Raiders is versing, and you're telling me somebody I don't have no clue who he is. I could know who he is if you give that last hour nothing but Underground.
Here's the thing. You can
get them to build up.
Here's the thing. They own a network, okay? They own a network. So you're going to tell me, give me 2 hours of Raw. Because honestly, 3 hours of Raw is a lot. Like, I'll DVR it. 3 hours is a lot. Give me 2 hours of don't call it Raw. Call it Monday night. WWE Monday night for 2 hours. Then the last hour, go on the network to watch Raw. 1 hour of Raw. Kevin Nash explained this in one of his interviews. It's 2 hours for the kids. And then go to the network from 10 to 11, 11 to midnight is Raw. That is Raw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's Raw. Then you go and watch Raw. Now, do you worry about the kids getting on a network and watching Raw? Yeah, you do. But guess what? Parents, that's your job to monitor your kids of what they're watching on the network. So
yes.
That's not listen, that's not on Vince McMahon to make sure, like, oh, we got to make sure we follow by no, that's you as a parent I look at my kids' browsing history all the time. I look at his history all the time. He hates it, but guess what? I'm making sure he doesn't watch anything inappropriate.
Yeah.
So with the network, you can literally go on there and be like, well, make sure your kids aren't watching, the Raw. Walk in on them, talk to them, say, hey, their phone too. And if they have their own account, you definitely could check if they're watching Raw. So, I mean, I would love to see that. I would love to see, because you own a network. You literally own a network.
And that is true, but I think because of that, they look at it from the network could be accessed by anybody in the family. And I think they kind of noticed that. And I think that's a big reason why they don't do anything like
they need to make it a little bit. Then they need to monitor it a little bit better. They need to make it a little bit, they need to tweak it then. If you're worried about anybody in the family looking at it, then you need to put it as when you sign up, you're putting your birth date in there.
Yeah, I mean,
based off your birthday, if you're under the age of like 16, 15, or whatever the case may be, you don't get certain content. You can't see it.
Yeah, but we live in the world today of technology. Where stream, right now we're not even in the same room and we're still doing this together.
Right.
Kids can find whatever they want. You know, I can go on YouTube and search Chris Benoit matches and watch everything. Same with the network. You know, I can go on and watch that. So kids are going to find it whether you want them to or not. The thing is Vince took a chance before, right?
Yep.
With doing it before.
Yeah.
What was an attitude? You know, oh shit, maybe the kids, you know, the parents might not want them to watch it, but he took the chance. Let SmackDown be that.
Yeah.
Let Raw, even if you want Raw to be 3 hours and do underground in between matches, whatever. And supposedly, I heard Shane is going to be running Raw completely very soon. So I am looking forward to that.
Interesting.
But back on topic, I think that even if you do a normal Raw, 3 hours, underground in between, whatever, give us that PG-14 SmackDown. Because viewership, by just putting PG-14, people saw that and tuned in.
Yeah,
their viewership went up a lot.
And I think they beat
Friday.
I think they beat AEW too.
They did. They beat AEW this week, slumped back down a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing like it was, but enough to still go, wow. You know what? If we had X amount when we were PG-14 for 1 week, what can happen if we do this for a year?
Right. And here's the other thing. You're now in the Thunderdome, which is I'm not too keen on it. I think it's a little it's okay. Would I like to be on it? That would be pretty cool to be on Thunderdome. But it's putting fans in the crowd. You know?
Is it?
I mean,
I'm in my own house, and you're telling me I can't wear a certain shirt. You're telling me I'm not allowed.
Here's the thing: is that when you go to the arenas, you still can't do that stuff. Those rules have always been in there. I
definitely wore a TNA shirt to a WWE event.
Yeah, but now we got a big rivalry thing going on now. I mean, literally.
What happens? You're going to go to
pretty sure.
And you're going to have to go to a arena. They're not going to tell you to take that off.
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
You can't. I bought my ticket.
Yeah, and they're a private company, and they could tell you no.
Then I'll leave.
Listen,
and you never get another.
There have been worse. There have been signs that have been taken off of fans.
Oh, I know.
So for me telling you,
have been taken off of me because of what they said.
Right. So I mean, you get so if they're taking your sign.
Okay,
what's the point of them saying, "Hey, turn your shirt inside out"? Exactly. Vince doesn't recognize TNA as competition.
Okay,
thank you, Danny.
But TNA was competing.
They were never.
They weren't competing in numbers. They weren't competing in numbers, but they had good talent, maybe even better at one point than WWE.
Yeah, but it wasn't competition.
Okay, he acknowledges it. Okay, he does acknowledge AEW, but here's the thing. I am in my own house. The confines of my house. I pay monthly, whatever. I'm not allowed to smoke. I'm not allowed to drink. You're not allowed to even have a TV on in the background because of noise. If they hear anything outside of what is going on, they will cut you. You know how many people were actually pissed that they got cut? A lot of people. But again, I understand there are rules, and you read the rules before you enter the Thunderdome.
Exactly.
So you're the
and hold on. And when you get picked, are you even paying anything?
No.
So guess what? They can make those rules all they want.
They are doing meet and greet SummerSlams via video chat.
Right.
That you do have to pay for. I tried to get into SummerSlam. I missed it. And as I was trying to get on here, I missed the Raw. But to be honest, I really don't care. I wanted to get on just to, rep the team, have my shirt, throw it up and everything. But I really don't care if I got on or not. Because to be honest, it looked like Biggie says, guess who? It looked like a big Guess Who game, and that was it. I really didn't like the Thunderdome, the layout of it. It was. I didn't like the fact that when people come out, the fans weren't there. They cut the fans out. There's a lot of stuff I really didn't like, but I think Thunderdome could be something if they do it correctly.
If they do it right, I think it can be something.
Recently showed my GF Gail Kim versus Kong, no DQ title match, super good. That was a hell of a match, Danny. TNA, old TNA pay-per-views, man, they might be good. Some of the best, man. They were good. They were good. I mean, we recently just yesterday we got a flashback TNA match of Jeff and AJ.
That was a great match. That was a great.
I loved it. And then you had Abyss in the back afterwards. Joseph Park. I'm loving it. I really hope, Styles is yelling and yelling. I really hope he snaps, and the Monster Abyss comes to WWE. I don't know if he was Abyss before TNA, so I don't know if TNA owns the rights to the gimmick or anything.
I don't know either. I don't know about that one.
But I know Joseph Park was his idea, so they do not own rights to that.
They do not own Joseph Park.
And supposedly, speaking of owning, I heard WWE does not own the Thunderdome yet.
No, they do not. They do not.
The name Thunderdome.
They own the name, but they do not own Amway or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be. That'll be shortly. That'll be purchased shortly.
What the whole maybe.
Why not? I mean, Vince has the money.
Vince has the money.
They have the money to do it. It would be kind of something different because then you could put different like programs on there instead of you don't have to focus SmackDown Raw. Like SmackDown Raw will still do their thing, but you could put like. I don't know. Saturday night. They're talking about bringing back Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live in the Thunderdome. I mean,
okay, but don't you think it's funny? They thought this after AEW had to get pushed to Saturday. I didn't hear anything before Saturday. I didn't hear anything before that.
Saturday Night Live has always been.
I know it's always been a thing.
It's always been in the works. It's always been in the works. And I think it's become more and more because of this getting the Thunderdome. Because I don't think Vince didn't want to do every single program from the Performance Center.
No, it was getting dry. It was getting dry.
It was getting dry at the Performance Center. So I think that, the Saturday Night Live was in works, was in talks. Is like, we want to do this. But Vince is like, I got 5 programs going on here, so.
And more. Now.
And more now.
He owns Evolve, ICW, IW, not IWC, but ICW or something like that.
Yeah,
it was based off of a Consumer Reports test they did.
What? Oh, okay. But the Saturday Night Live was always in talks, and I think now it's becoming even more big talks because of the Thunderdome. So you can't tell them. You can't say that he's doing it because of AEW moved to Saturdays. AEW only moved to Saturdays.
No, I'm not saying that. I remember watching. Yeah, I remember watching old ones like the Saturday nights before. But what I'm saying is, I never heard about bringing it back until now. That's the only thing I said.
Okay,
I didn't hear about bringing it back until, we're getting pushed to Saturdays because of NBA. Yeah, that's the only thing.
And I think Saturday Night Live would be a good thing for WWE. Maybe push some of the younger talent.
Exactly. Something that they need to do. They need to stop. NXT, they have their people that they're focusing on. They have their people focusing on in Raw and in SmackDown. So give Saturday night, give that for some young buck to get in there and show us what he has. Because that's what we care about. That's what I want to see at the end of the day. Do you know what you're doing in that ring? If you speak to me in the ring, you got me. That's it. But one thing. I put something up on Loudmouth Sports Group earlier today.
I seen that.
John Cena was the best face that WWE has ever had. Don't roll your eyes.
No, I'm
Don't roll
thinking.
your eyes.
I'm thinking. No, that he has. He was the best face that WWE has ever had. Now we can mention Hogan and we can mention some of the older guys, but listen, Hogan left and became a heel. Okay, left and became a heel, and then came back, tried to be a face, but never really got over. Cena
And when he
was
came back,
a heel.
he wasn't the same.
Yeah, Cena was a heel for like a year and a half tops, a year and a half tops. When he was about to get fired, they found out that like, hey, he can Thugonomics, and from there he continued being a face. He never changed characters. He never did anything. And as much as I'm not a fan of Cena's work in the ring, I'm not a fan of his character, but the guy carried the face. This is how to be a face in WWE. Literally, people came to him and go, oh, how do I become a face? Talk to John Cena. That's how you do it. You know, almost like, how do I become a heel? Go talk to Triple H, talk to Ric Flair, talk to Batista, talk to Randy Orton, talk to
the Miz.
To the Miz. That's how you become a heel, you know, when you're coming into it. So when you're looking literally at the face is
face of the company, Danny. Yeah, face of the company.
Face of the company.
Yeah. He was a good fit. Like, he might be the best face of his generation also.
Yes.
But by babyface. But face of the company, I mean, yes, Rock. Everyone says Stone Cold and The Rock.
No, not the face of the company.
Who do you put? Okay, for that era, who do you put? Rock or Stone Cold? You can't put both. You have to pick one. I say Rock.
God, the face of the company in that era.
I say The Rock because of everything. Because he didn't just get people from wrestling. You know, people were like, he blew up so much that he brought people from everywhere else also.
I'm just trying to think of other people in that era.
You really can't.
Eddie Guerrero?
Not the face of the company. Dwayne, Danny, yes. Dwayne, yes. Dwayne over Stone Cold.
Yes.
When it comes
Dwayne
to
Stone Cold. If you left me down the Dwayne or Stone Cold, I'm going with Dwayne. I'm going with Rock.
Dwayne or Stone, because that's who everybody on the post was talking about. Dwayne and Stone Cold.
The Rock changed wrestling for guys in wrestling to go into Hollywood. That's what The Rock did. The Rock literally changed that. The Rock literally said you can make it from wrestling to Hollywood. Because, I mean, if you look at the following after him, John Cena, Batista, Triple H, The Miz, I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Okay, stop. I do not include Triple H in that. He did 2 movies that went straight to DVD. They were okay.
Because it was by WWE's production.
He's not an actor. He's not an actor, Sean.
But he went to Hollywood. Did he or did he not go to Hollywood?
Okay, he went into a movie.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Nobody has done what Dwayne has done.
No.
Nobody has done what Cena has done. Not even Dwayne. When it comes to wrestling, Dwayne's more, let me in. All right, here. I'm about to send you in, my man. I'm about to send you a link. But what you have to understand is, in my opinion, is that Cena changed the game. Cena went to Vince and said, hey, I have to change my whole character, change who I am.
You can't tell me that Vince didn't have a part in that either.
No, okay. Vince probably did. Vince probably said, hey, everything's changing. We need to do this. We need to do that. But at the same time, I think Cena was a big, big part of that. I think that he also recognized. I think he might have recognized before Vince. I think he might have went to Vince and talked to him. And let's not forget what Cena has done outside of the ring.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I'm talking about. How bad I'm getting to you, my man.
He is the best. He's one of ambassadors for the WWE to represent he is number 1. The Miz is number 2, and Titus O'Neil is number 3.
The Miz.
For ambassador, you could go to the Miz. He would do it all.
Yeah, and
Titus
Mark Henry. He's starting.
Yeah, and Mark Henry's like 4 because Titus O'Neil.
Mark Henry.
Yeah, Titus O'Neil's been doing it a lot longer than most of those guys, but Titus O'Neil's like 3. So you got Cena, Miz, O'Neil, Henry, and probably like the 5th one. I can't really.
You know who did a lot? To be honest, is the Big Show.
Yeah, the Big Show is number 5.
I really do. I think the Big Show doesn't get enough credit where credit's due.
Oh, he's done so much for the company. He's done so much for the young talent that's come up.
So much.
And I mean, he's the reason Big E is big as he is.
There you are. Blacked out for a minute. Come on. Hold on, Danny. I'm coming. Oh, add the stream. Okay,
there we go.
What's up, Danny?
There we go.
Hello.
Danny, what's up, my man? So what do you think? What are you thinking?
So, in terms of face of the company, I agree with Luch. It is, without a doubt, Cena. I recently saw, I'm a big What Culture follower. I recently saw Simon Miller's comprehensive breakdown of like each decade and who was the man in each year.
Yeah.
And Cena outnumbered every single one of those guys. Like, everyone got like at least like 1, max 2 spots. Cena got like 4. Like 4 total. And with that number, you kind of have to like, and not just that, like, even now when he's breaking into like television and movies and commercial spots and stuff like that, they still acknowledge him as like John Cena. Oh, the wrestler? Yeah. They don't see him as like, oh, yeah, John Cena, the guy who was in the really funny Tina Fey, Amy Poehler movie as the drug dealer, which I love him in that role.
That was hilarious.
Hilarious.
So yeah, without a doubt, Cena, Attitude Era level or Attitude Era for sure, Dwayne, because he transcends media now. And like that come up. So like I'm a huge Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. Personally, he was my favorite wrestler of the Attitude Era because I think he was the better worker, even with a broken neck. But Dwayne, when he took off, it was exponential. It was like a fucking rocket. And like his promos were better than Stone Cold's. Stone Cold had an amazing promo game, don't get me wrong, but it felt formulaic after a while. Dwayne kept you on your toes with everything he said, and everything was different. You didn't really know what he was going to react to, or you didn't really know what he was going to say. IMHO, best babyface of the entire WWF to WWE era, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Best babyface, not face of the company.
Babyface,
because they didn't even turn him heel. Like,
no, they never turned him heel, but in a way, like, I mean, if you're really thinking babyface, you can't put him over Hogan in WWF.
Wait, babyface from that era?
From all eras. He's saying Ricky
he could outwork Hogan easily. And then on top of that, like
everybody outworked Hogan.
He's saying from all eras.
He had a better match with IMHO. Because like I love we lost Luch.
I don't know.
Well, now it's just a 2-man power trip now.
Yeah. But no, I get where you're coming. I get where you're coming from with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I really do. And don't get me wrong, they never did change him. They never did change him into like a heel, but I don't think he would have been as good. He wouldn't have been a good heel at all. He would have been a horrible heel. But if you look at it, babyface wise, you had Hogan, which that man transcended wrestling.
Not in a good way, though.
But I mean, he transcended it in WWF. I'm not talking like after he left. I'm talking like during him.
You seen
if
Days
it wasn't for,
you seen
if it
Days of
wasn't
Thunder?
for- if it wasn't for him slamming Andre, WWE wouldn't be where it's at. Okay, like that was
I
something.
think that
If
you
if
could have
were a
easily banked
child-
on.
if
I
you
think
were
that
a
you could have
child
easily
at that
banked
time,
on the Memphis talents that they recruited. So Lanny and Macho, they could have easily just ran an entire promotion off of those two guys because you have a brother versus brother feud. And for a long time, Memphis Wrestling did do that, where there was just like it was the freaking Pafos wrestling each other, and they had, from what I understand, they had amazing matches.
Yeah, but you also had, but I'm talking about baby faces. You also had Macho Man, huge
wait.
pop, huge baby,
Yeah,
Time out real fast.
and
Time
he
out real
got
fast.
more pop than. Good.
Time out real fast. I got cut for like 2 minutes. So what
Yeah.
do we? Could you catch me back
You're-
up real fast?
you're written out of the show. It's just me. It's just me and Sean now.
I just got kicked. I was like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, you're the Billy Gunn of this situation now. We're just gonna boot you.
No, what you missed is we're talking about the baby,
The
big
faces,
baby
right?
face, and he's saying that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was the best baby face out of all the eras, and I have to disagree with that. Like, you had Macho Man Randy Savage, you had Hogan,
Hulk. That's
I mean,
his name is Hulk, and it's hard to put someone over Hulk, even though we all know. To me, I don't even think Hulk was supposed to be the man. I'm not.
You
Hulk
had
doesn't do it for me.
You had Ultimate Warrior as a face that was pro. I mean, come on, you give me that look, Danny. But
you're right.
You're
right. He was a face.
You had Warrior, who people love.
I personally just don't like. I love the energy that he brought, and that's what like carried through in his performance. But like, for all intents and purposes, Warrior overall, I'm not a huge fan of him personally. But that doesn't distract from like what you're saying.
But his promos were so far gone. It was crazy. Like how he talked on his promos, you were like, holy shit, this man's lost it. Like, like this man's like literally like crazy to go into the ring. But he made you believe he was that fucking crazy, but you still liked him. You still cheered for him. So I mean, and then you had Macho Man, who had also outrageous promos where he had no idea where he was going with. 1 minute he liked Hogan, the next minute he hated everybody.
Well, that's the thing. He worked heel because he would always have Elizabeth on the outside running interference. So, like, he worked heel in his matches. I know that he had the whole stable with, what's his name?
I'll tell you this, he was the only heel that had you so fooled that he was a face.
Yeah, I mean, I love Macho Man. Macho Man's my favorite 80s era, like, wrestler.
One of the best.
You would have never thought he was a heel because everybody loved Miss Elizabeth.
Well, yeah, because of Miss Elizabeth, you might have not thought. But if you look at Macho Man and see his work in the ring, you can kind of be like, you can get a heel from that.
Yeah, you can.
From Miss Elizabeth being with him, you kind of think otherwise. And
yeah.
Miss Elizabeth was one of the best ever.
One of the best ring girls, one of the best managers, one of the best.
IMHO, I think I would personally go with, if we're talking 80s valets, Sherry. I think Sherry was a lot more charismatic than Elizabeth. Elizabeth was great, like interference storyline wise, especially with like the Ric Flair like thing later. Brilliant. But Sherry could actually go in the ring. Could hang with the boys and cut amazing promos.
Yeah, she did. I mean, and if you look at managers back in the day, and we're not talking female, I'm talking all managers in the 80s. Captain Lou Albano.
Mm-hmm.
That man, he made you hate his team. Like you just couldn't stand him. Like you were like, please, somebody hit this man. He was a Paul Heyman of that time. You know what I mean? But I mean, managers now. If we're gonna go managers now and look at the Selena Vega,
no,
incredible man. You can't tell.
All she has are people that lose. She has people that lose.
Right now.
IMHO.
Okay, fine.
Best manager right now is Taz. Taz.
No.
Okay. What about on WWE?
What are
Who
you
would you
smoking?
say is the best?
In WWE, it's probably MVP, but he's like a
MVP 's a-
agent coach, kind of like it's different because he's
MVP is
actually
not-
in ring. He's
MVP
actually
is not-
in ring.
If you want to go
competition.
like managers, you have to go with Zelina Vega. You have to. Granted,
No.
She is technically the only. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have to do anything.
you have to.
But she is the technically only manager.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets in the ring.
I mean, technically,
I mean,
Heyman is still under contract as a manager, so we could still just
Heyman.
sit around and say Heyman.
Well,
I mean,
Heyman's,
yeah.
Heyman's
Yeah.
the best
yeah,
of the
but
best.
that's unfair.
Heyman's just all around between both a few eras. He's probably the best manager since like Bobby Heenan. You know what I mean?
Did you? I don't know if you guys heard about this particular instance, but before COVID happened, they were going to bring Ellering back and pair him with Akam and Razor, as opposed to stick him with Seth Rollins and have that little like unit. They were going to have Paul Ellering, the guy who ran the Legion of Doom and the Road Warriors, and put him back with
he was
Authors
with,
of Pain.
and I thought that would have been stupid. That'd have been so stupid. Like he didn't. he
Ellering was
wasn't-
amazing.
He was, but he was not for them. Not for them.
It's
He
two
would be a
giant
good
dudes
manager.
that just kill people. Like that is Ellering. Like
What do you mean?
to a
Sean, he
core.
would have been a perfect manager for them.
I don't know, man.
Better than MVP. Okay, MVP came and said, I want Lashley to have a title. And guess who got the title?
He did, yeah.
MVP.
Right.
So like I wouldn't be against that.
I didn't like it when he was the manager in NXT either, though. When he managed them.
Yeah, that was
just-
supposed to happen before. That was supposed to happen before COVID, but it didn't end up happening, and Ellering's still just sitting at home. I think that currently, if you were to like say to me like who would make a good manager now, right? Who would make a good manager now? Who has the bones? Who has the proper chops for like a like good promos, good solid this, maybe can take a bump, and that's under their like kind of thing. I mean, they have no problem hiring people that have like gripes in the media and stuff like that,
Right.
or like past gripes or whatever. It's a phone call away from Corny's house, and Corny can easily just come back. And
No.
Why not? I'm
Why
not saying that I want to see him back, but like Vince, I have a feeling Vince is running out of people that he used to like phone call, you know, and he's just like, okay, who could Corny.
That might be true. He might be running out of options, but I don't think out of everybody, Cornette would not be the one, because Cornette shits on wrestling right now every chance he gets.
I agree.
He hates this style, not even this style, this generation
He
of
hates this
wrestling.
product because he still believes in
Take your
kayfabe.
vitamins and say your prayers.
Well,
Big
he-
man
well,
has to be the
He
big
believes
man.
in
Well,
he
he
believes in
believes-
wrestling. That's what he
Wrestling.
believes in.
And he
Wrestling.
believes wrestling, and he believes in the kayfabe and not breaking kayfabe,
Yeah.
of staying like true to your
I
character
believe in that.
through and through. And I believe in that. I believe like if I
That
meet
is true.
if I
that's
meet
a
Seth
lot further.
Rollins, if I would meet Seth Rollins outside, I would want him
I
to
want him
treat
to
me
be
like
the Monday
he's the
Night Messiah.
Messiah.
Exactly.
I don't want him to be like the happy Seth Rollins and shaking hands. Like I want him to be that dick of a Monday Night Messiah.
Me personally, I don't know. I disagree because I went to MegaCon a year or so ago, and I got the pleasure of meeting Shinsuke Nakamura. Easily top 10 like moments of my life. I'm just like, you're the king of strong style. You're not now, but you were. But right next to Shinsuke at the same like photo op area was Strowman, and I really wanted to meet Strowman, but I only had money for one, so I was just like, NJPW World Champion, Intercontinental Champion, literally had a fight with Hiroshi Tanahashi that billed the Tokyo Dome over the heavyweight championship. Yeah, I'm gonna go meet Shinsuke. But I really wanted to meet Braun, and from what I understand, he seems just like a Florida dude. You know, he seems like Luch, like personality wise. Like if you meet him, he's just huge. I don't want to meet like Braun Strowman and then him just be like, "Get these hairs" or whatever the fuck like he says. I don't want to meet Shinsuke and just be like, "Get that," and just he just like starts like pointing at his crotch. Like I'm like, no, I don't want to.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying there. But like if I encounter you without having to pay to meet you, like I encounter you, I want you to treat me like if you meet Paul Heyman anywhere and you ask him for a photo, you ask him to shake your hand, he's going to treat you like a dick. He's going to be Paul Heyman.
Well, yeah, that's Heyman.
Like, that's Heyman.
I feel like if you met Mike, though, Miz, he wouldn't be Mr. Moneymaker or like whatever, the A-lister or whatever like that.
But I would want him
for
to be
all intents and accounts.
Right. But I would want him to be the Miz if I meet you without paying for it. If I'm not paying for it and I see you, like, hey, it's the Miz. Hey, Mike, Mizan. And he just turns into that A-lister. Like, please do it. Like, that's what I want. I want that experience that I'm seeing in the ring. I don't want to meet you outside and be all nice and cheerful.
That's the thing I think wrestling in a whole has lost.
Yes.
I think that people need to take their characters, and I'm not so much saying you need to be that character 24/7, but if you get booked, if you're walking through the airport, whatever, you should be that character. The reason The Undertaker's character lasted so long
because he was that character.
That character. Same thing for Stone Cold. Stone Cold was Stone Cold outside of the ring. Now, did that
Eddie Guerrero was Eddie Guerrero in and outside the ring?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, they tried bringing Taker's actual personality and putting it into the ring, but everyone just called him like Dad Taker. And he was just, he had a midlife crisis, rode his motorcycle to the ring, and just,
I mean,
like I met AJ Styles, like I've met him a few times, but the first time I met him was when I was training with IWC. I was actually in the training facility of IWC, and he came in to run ropes with us. Really awesome dude, cool dude, so much full of knowledge. Met him at a few shows, talked to him. Met him outside of a car show when he came to Pittsburgh. Really cool, just Alan Jones. But I would love to meet him now outside, not paying for it, and him be AJ Styles. Phenomenal, and just be that dick of AJ Styles. Like, just be like that. Just, I'm better than you. I'm phenomenal. Like, please. That's all we ask for.
See, yes, and I do want to see that in somewhat. I can say from the wrestlers I've met Jerry Lawler, he stayed in character. Mickey James did not. And when I did my Make-A-Wish with Cena, at the time he was the Thugonomics, and it was Florida, hot as hell, and at the time I had a full body brace. And I took it off because it was like I was dying. And for him to stay in character, he had to leave the room because he was getting like emotional from my story and everything. So at the time he was Thugonomics, so we had to keep that like thug mentality type of thing. So he had to leave the room for 2-3 minutes, and he came back and he was Thugonomics Cena. And looking back, I'm like, wow, like that's amazing, because I met who I wanted to meet. I didn't meet this Cena. I met who I wanted to meet. I met the Thugonomics. I mean, he came in and like had the chain. He was doing, as soon as he met me, I mean, like everything was like it was like the backstage area was his ring and I was his opponent, and it was perfect.
Did he at least kick a rap for you?
He did not. If I could meet him a little bit older, I might have been like, my man, you got to freestyle for me. You got to. But yeah, I think that it gives that much of more of an impact on the meeting of the superstar.
Yeah, right.
Because you get to meet that person. And but I do agree that, like, dude, it's dead now. Like, that shit's done and over.
I could tell you personally, like, when I was the IWC doing all that and I was going to shows, like, they had our pictures up on the internet, like IWC website, and people knew, like, me, like, character wise. So when they would see me out, like, in the crowd talking, or people, I would be that character. Like, I would be that dark figure character that I was supposed to be. So, like, like, it wasn't like not dark, but I was that asshole of a character that kids like come up and be like I almost made kids cry. Like, it's just the way it is. But I think that's how fans want it. Fans don't want to meet you like just you. Like, I'm so and so, but I'm not. You know, I was Silent Assassin, but I don't think they want to see Sean Evans. They want to meet Silent Assassin. That's who they want to meet, not Sean Evans. So that's who I was the whole time. You know,
were you Silent Assassin?
Terrible gimmick.
Were you Sean Evans, the Silent Assassin?
They gave it to me, so just let you know that.
Sean Evans, the Silent Assassin. That's a terrible gimmick.
No, it was just Silent Assassin. There was no first name, last name. Believe me, it was horrible gimmick.
Well, like, I was about to say, like, it's a good thing that this didn't come at like a later time when Hot Ones came to fame, because then people would because then immediately, if you'd started like in IWC, they would have just been like, we're gonna make you the hot sauce guy.
Might have been better than the Silent Assassin.
Believe me, the
spicy Sean.
Listen, I had to come out like in like this, like cloak, like almost like a robe with my head like this, like my head.
There is some type of tape. Please tell me.
I don't think
you gotta post it. You gotta post whatever you got to the group.
I never got to live shows. I only got to like matches that way before they even start taping. So they just wanted to see how you worked in the ring.
Just to tell you what you could work on. I'm about to call them and be like, hey, you know the Silent Assassin? I need to see some of his tapes.
Let's just say this. They're not too pleased with me at IWC. I don't think I'll ever be invited back. So
never mind. I'm not going to call.
And you already know the reason why. So, but
what else happened in the what else happened in the wrestling world today other than the sad? Did you already? I didn't catch the first.
We did.
Minutes.
We talked about Sonya Deville and how horrible that was. So
yeah, we talked about Sonya Deville, and that was that. And one more thing: do you think, Danny, that when wrestling fans get what we ask, we still bitch about it? We still have a problem?
Absolutely, because you're fickle as fuck.
We are.
It goes
Daniel
wrestling
Bryan,
fans.
fickle.
No, it goes freaking wrestling fans and Star Wars fans are like the most like. As soon as they get like what they ask for, or if it's not like exactly what they ask for, they're like,
"Oh, this is fucking bullshit. I'm gonna rant on Reddit Squared Circle for an hour and just fucking like go sound. I'm gonna hop on this Cornette podcast."
Oh, that's their favorite. They love the Cornette podcast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's their favorite.
Don't get me wrong. I love watching Cornette podcast because he's hilarious. Dude, he has me dying. He has me cracking up.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I would love to go on one day and argue with him.
Oh, me too.
I would love it. Let's invite Jim Cornette on the show one day.
Jim Cornette, if you get this, you're invited anytime, buddy.
Anytime.
Anytime.
He ain't commenting for NWA anymore, so I mean, you're good.
I am going to say next week, though, we have our game show again. And it is going to be a game show, but the person that we pick, you are going to see if you know more than Pittsburgh's own comedian. He's in the running for the best comedian in Pittsburgh, and that's Matt Light. So Matt Light is going to join the show. We're going to see if you know more than Matt Light. Matt Light, who is the illegitimate child of Shawn Michaels, and who also looks like Kevin Owens on crack. So,
So, Damien, what are you doing next Saturday at 4 p.m.?
I think I'm working.
Oh, damn.
But I'll be happy to come back onto the show literally any other time. I mean, you guys I'll hop on. I'll post the Fiend GIF over and over again and just say, let me in, 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 until Sean or you says, all right, fuck, yeah, we're going to send you a link. Jesus Christ, stop fucking begging us.
And what do you think of the Fiend showing up with Vince McMahon? I think that was awesome.
Golden.
So, be honest with you. One, I don't have cable, so I'm actually about to go to a local bar, and just ask if they could put on TNT. But two, on the YouTube, I only watch the YouTube clips, catch-ups of like SmackDown, because that's actually a decent way to catch up.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but when I heard McMahon was going on to SmackDown, I was like, really? This is most definitely.
It was more of just like
it's a grab.
Here's the
It's a grab.
It's the Thunderdome.
Thunderdome. Sorry, here's the Thunderdome.
Thunderdome. At the Thunderdome, pal. It's gonna be great.
But
Pretty much what it was.
yeah, yeah. But when the Fiend showed up with that was classic. I would like to know though. Here's the thing: is there's I watched a YouTube clip. There's rumors of what's going to happen come tomorrow night. You know, the rumors that are going around of who's going to win, who's going to lose, and what we could possibly see. One of the rumors is that during the Mandy Rose is going to beat Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville is gone from Loser Leaves WWE. The next match we have, they're saying the Street Profits are going to retain their titles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with it, but whatever. And they said that they're going to, and the big ones are Braun Strowman and the Fiend. They're saying that Alexa Bliss is going to be involved in some way and turn on Braun and be with the Fiend.
Sister Bliss.
Sister Bliss, Sister Abigail.
Let's go.
I think you got my take on this already, on the whole like Alexa Bliss is actually Sister Abigail thing. I'm not even bothered. They're just gonna be like what are they gonna do? Sit in a swamp in the hot tub with the belt like in between them, like with the mask on, like, and she's just like gawking at him like fucking, like they've made Alexa Bliss a showpiece when she's a fucking wrestler. Like, put her back in singles. That's all we want. That's literally all I want. That's all I want. That's it.
And then, of course, Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. They're saying that what could possibly happen is Edge returns, comes in like he's going to help Drew, turns on Drew. Randy Orton gets the win. He gets the title. Those two team up until Edge turns on Randy, and we're going to see Randy Orton versus Edge in WrestleMania. That is apparently penciled in with Vince McMahon. Has that idea of that going with that.
No,
a better booking idea. You have. Did they do the rubber match? Edge and Orton. Did they already do the rubber match or no?
No.
Okay, so we're waiting on a rubber match. So you have Orton take the title at Payback. You have Edge and him clash for the title, also the rubber match, and then you have Drew interfere. Edge wins the title, and then Drew faces Edge for the title.
I don't like that.
It's very WWE booking, but it's WWE booking.
I don't like that. One, an Edge and Randy Orton match is not just your regular normal like Payback. That's more of a high caliber match. Like That's a SummerSlam. That's a
But he's
WrestleMania
built-
match that you
He's
want to
billed
see.
for 5 matches this year. He's only had 2. So
That is true.
That is true.
Can I see? I mean, I
don't
just
think-
don't want to see Drew drop it so fast.
I don't think Edge is going to wrestle on Raw for like Raw money. I think he's only going to do pay-per-views only, like Lesnar.
Yeah.
But like, you know, yeah.
But if you're really gonna have a match like that, something like that in WrestleMania, then you should make it Drew versus Edge versus Orton, and Drew beats the both of them.
But are you like? Here's the thing, and it's the part that I'm trying to think is Edge has 5 matches, and Goldberg has 2 a year. Okay, we all know Goldberg will be at Mania
Until 2023, he is signed
Yes.
until 2023.
So we all know Goldberg is probably going to be set for Mania. It's why not? So what are we going to do? So we have 2 legends who like both can't do too much. Edge can, but you have to watch his neck. Goldberg can't go more than 5 minutes, this stiff son of a bitch. So
I mean, here's the thing: is if you have Goldberg coming back at Mania, have Randy punt him in the head. He's a legend, right?
and really kick the shit out of him. Like,
yeah.
What I
Don't
well,
come
yeah,
back.
that's honestly. I don't want. I'm comfortable with literally anyone doing it. I actually want Daniel Bryan to do it with just a knee him stiff in the head, because I still don't forgive him for taking away the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, for giving him concussion at Starrcade. Fucking hate him for that. But for that, his Schadenfreude should be he's given himself a concussion.
Yeah, he's
Like-
giving himself concussion. So there's no.
Like,
that's how bad he is.
how do I make this Saudi Arabia show more of a spectacle? Oh, I'll headbutt the door. That'll be grand. That'll work wonders. Starts bleeding right before he comes out to the fucking like ramp. Like, are you serious?
This is Vince's booking.
No
Vince
more
loves the older
Goldberg.
guys.
No more Goldberg. I'm chanting now. No more
Listen,
Goldberg.
No more old WWE stars. I'm sorry.
But you
Bring
know
them-
what? Here's the bad part: is you have COVID going on, where superstars don't want to work.
No,
You
I
literally
agree.
had Roman go home. You literally have Sami Zayn go, "See ya, bye. I'm not coming."
Well, Sami Zayn's a little crybaby also.
Yes.
But let's not get in. Like, I like Sami Zayn. He's a hell of a competitor. He knows what he's doing in and out of the ring. But when it comes to wrestling, if he doesn't get his way, oh God, whine. Kind of like
From what I heard, he was a booker's nightmare in the independent scene too. So, you know,
well, you know what? To be honest, he knows his worth. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He is a hell of an athlete. He's a hell of a wrestler.
One of the
I won't take less than what I deserve either. So
one of the most underrated guys besides Cesaro.
well, I think he was tremendously at rate in NXT. Like, everyone knew his worth in NXT. But I think that regarding Sami Zayn, I remember seeing a quote recently where Kenny Omega, it was a match that he had in either DDT or it was one of his matches in NJPW. But he said that one of the like crowning achievements of his life was Generico tweeting him that was the best match I've ever fucking seen. Because he really enjoyed like freaking Sami Zayn as a competitor, as a wrestler.
Sami Zayn's talented, man. He's a talent.
I'm counting the days that his contract ends so that he can make his way over to the best the good company.
The AEW.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm getting tired of AEW hiring all ex-WWE guys too.
yeah,
Like,
What were they gonna do with freaking Kyoto? Kyoto's the best freaking referee WWE had, and they fired him.
Well,
like-
but you also got to realize that there are some up and coming refs that are as good, if not better, than him
Yeah,
in
and
that ring.
it's the same thing for wrestlers. You know, you're keeping older wrestlers around. You're holding other stars back.
The two women in the two women referee right now on Raw, or Raw and SmackDown. They're incredible. They're incredible. The
They're
Black
okay.
Girl-
They're not as better as Aubrey though. I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
Aubrey.
Aubrey's the goat of all. Honestly,
Female
she's refs. IMHO. She is my favorite referee because no one fucks with her. Like she makes her.
But she
like-
can take a bump. She takes a bump too, man.
Yeah,
She
like
can take a
I was
bump.
watching.
She knows how to work it.
Yeah, I was watching. I recently watched because I listened to Talk Is Jericho and I listened to the early years of Y2J podcast, and I watched back the Triple H Earl Hebner moment where he made Earl Hebner reverse the decision on the title grab, so Jericho would turn over the belt, and I'm like, if this was Aubrey would smack the shit out of him. Out of Shane and out of freaking Stephanie, just all of them. And I'm like, I love Aubrey Edwards. We don't deserve her, but we got her, and she's amazing.
But
She is definitely one of the best.
oh, and also at SummerSlam, apparently Retribution's going to show who they are. They are going to reveal themselves. Apparently,
Great.
from the rumors, CM Punk is the leader of Retribution.
I'll take it. Take my money, Vince. Take my money.
You don't want it? You don't want Vince? Wait a minute. Hold on. Danny was shaking his head like, you don't want CM Punk to be part of
The best
Retribution.
in the world to come back.
I have my own gripes.
That is
With Phil.
chaos that he
He called him Phil.
I have my
Alright,
own
so
gripe.
what-
I have
your
my own
problem
gripes with Phil.
Phil.
I am saving them for later because they are worth money. But as far as Retribution goes, the booking has been completely uneven when it comes to what they do on the show.
No,
On
it
Raw.
really hasn't. It really hasn't. They're doing
On Raw,
exactly what
they- On Raw, they chuck a fucking brick through a window, right? That's
Okay.
good. And then they chuck another brick through the same window that was already broken. Like, wait, what? And then on SmackDown, they chainsaw the ropes and they look badass and they beat up Braun Strowman and it's good. And then on Raw, like, they go to invade Raw Underground and they look like a bunch of kids. They look like a bunch of, like, teenage dorks that are just running around and, like, trying to be protesters, but they're not. And it's
That's-
like,
from what I'm hearing, is that's because Vince doesn't have exactly who he wants set
right.
in there yet. It's just people that they can throw into a mask on and go, hey, go out there.
Go,
'Cause
go.
if you notice, what's that one? She's really short. She's in NXT. She was like American Ninja Warrior
Yeah.
or one. She's been
Casey.
one of them. Yeah, Casey's been one of them for like the past couple weeks. I mean, because you can't miss her. Like
No, you
she's
can't.
little as hell with poofy hair. So like, there's no way you can like say, oh, that's not her. But from what I'm hearing is Vince is just throwing people together until he can get whoever is going to be in
But
it together.
if CM Punk does true out actually is the leader, that would make a perfect fit for him because he's so against the grain of the company.
But where would he be? What is this like a, hey, we're going to be on everything? Or is this a, hey, we're on SmackDown? Because you can't be on Raw technically because we already have the Hurt Business and the Monday Night Messiah with
No, hold on. Now, Retribution isn't about like Retribution's more of like we're gonna come and destroy your show. We're just gonna cause chaos in your shows. We're gonna. That's all it is.
Okay, but how long is that going to run? To be honest, you have to at least have matches. You have to have stuff like that. So you have to pick. You don't have to pick a brand. You could go to every brand, but
It's almost like an NXT invasion when Wade Barrett was doing it, and you literally had all the superstars eventually team up and be like, "We got to take care of them."
So it's going to be like a Survivor Series. Going to drag it.
That's really all I've seen, though, is that it's just Nexus Light, but they're kind of dorks and they dress like ninjas. Which that's another thing. How can you tell the ninjas apart that are teaming with Akira Tozawa with the Retribution guys? You can't. They literally have to announce like, "Oh, that's Retribution. That's Retribution." Yeah, it's just like, how are you?
Yeah.
Other than Big, the 7-foot tall ninja.
Here's the thing: is maybe through all of SummerSlam, all through SummerSlam, the whole show, you have like little light flickers here and there. You have different things, right? No one really gets beat up. You wait till the end of the match, which is Orton and Drew.
Have them invaded so nobody wins.
Have them invaded. No one wins. Literally have them invaded so no one wins. Okay. Or have them invaded on the winner. And then they reveal themselves.
See, that maybe I would like to see during the match.
Whoever, yeah, during the match. If you have them invaded during the match and just take them both out. Both. And not just one, both.
And then you show the leader.
And
the leader reveals his army.
Right.
Per se. But to be honest, I think that they shouldn't reveal at SummerSlam. I like this. I like the suspension of who the hell are these people.
Yeah, but when are you going to reveal
One minute I'm hearing it's NXT stars. The next minute I'm hearing it's ex-WWE stars. So it's like maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe it is just NXT. Maybe it's ex-WWE superstars. If it's Punk, then it probably is ex-WWE.
It's Russo. It's Russo the entire time.
It's just Russo. He's like, bro, I came here. I came back. This is my retribution.
Listen, I don't listen. All I know is that it would be if you reveal them at SummerSlam, it's not a big deal if you reveal the leader. Who cares? If it's just the leader, who cares?
That I'll take that. If you reveal just who runs it.
And if it's Punk that reveals himself, now you have storyline, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're after the leader. To try to get to leader, you have to get through Retribution.
And that, I mean, if that happens and then Survivor Series strolls around and then they have their match and one by one get unmasked. They get unmasked. Oh, it's Rusev and it's whoever, like Enzo Amore or whoever, whatever. Like that will never happen.
Never.
That will
How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing? Soft?
How you doing?
So
Simon Gotch.
So to end the show,
he's like a 65-year-old woman. How you doing?
Let's get into our predictions for SummerSlam.
Predictions.
So we have Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose. Loser leaves WWE. Obviously, I'm going to go with Sonya because she needs some time to heal.
Yes, I say Sonya loses the match and she leaves WWE to go here.
That's easy.
I agree with Sonya. However, there's still they never really said we're not doing the hair strip. So
they're not doing the hair.
I think they are.
She'll probably get shaved and then she'll leave.
On Raw, she said
she'll look like a badass with fucking short ass hair. So I mean, I'm game.
Yeah, she said that's not enough to just shave your head. It's not enough. You have to leave WWE forever because I won't be able to. She said I won't be able to stand seeing your ugly face or something. No.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have Braun versus The Fiend.
I'm taking The Fiend.
Me too.
Yeah, Fiend's got to win.
Okay. Then we got Drew versus Randy. I'm going with Drew.
I don't want to see it, but I'll probably go with Orton.
Randy Orton is the most WWE booked guy, and that's why he's in this match right now. So I'm probably going to go with him. I want Drew to win, but it's probably going to go to Orton.
All right, then we have Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Andrade.
Andrade. I would like to see Angel Garza Andrade, but I think the Street Profits will win, unfortunately.
I'm going to say Angel Garza because I think it's time that Ford splits up. I think Ford needs to do a singles. I think Ford will strive a whole lot more in singles.
Well, from what I'm hearing, they're not splitting them up because Bianca Belair is going to be like that centerpiece.
My God.
So, I'll put it like this. Sex and long hair is not going to beat Montez Ford's amazing fucking frog splash that he kills himself every single time that he does. So I'm going with Street Profits.
His frog splash is
incredible.
It's the best.
Crazy.
It's the best.
Incredible.
I love it when Kevin Owens does it because he's just a bigger dude and you don't usually see it happen. But like Montez Ford
gets up. I mean,
height, yeah,
height,
the
he
height
gets up.
that he gets, yeah. That dude's got a tremendous vertical. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
And I'm trying to look up the rest of the match card.
So we have Becky Lynch, or not Becky Lynch. God, that'd be fucking awesome. If Becky Lynch came through.
I think Asuka walks away with the Raw Women's title. I think she walks. No, I think she walks away with Raw.
I'm gonna agree with Luch just because
Sasha gets it first.
No, yeah, it's the precedent that Sasha never retains at a pay-per-view, and it's so the trigger for it to actually freaking happen that she wins her match, but she doesn't help Bayley win hers. Right? Let's say Sasha goes first, wins her match, and then it's Bayley, and then Bayley for some reason loses her match, and Sasha's not there to help her out. Then Bayley has precedent to be like, what the fuck? Like, you didn't help me out.
Yeah.
Or if we're going in if we're going in like the precedent that they've already set on Raw, no, it's a no finish and it's a triple threat at Payback.
Here's the thing. I think Bayley's more successful than Sasha, so I think they'll go with Bayley, making Sasha feel like I'm one step. I still think I'm better than you, but I'm still one step under you.
Yeah, maybe. I do believe that Bayley is a better wrestler, better competitor. I just think to break them up, it would be best to do it with Bayley busting it open. Because to be honest, I like to see Bayley more as a singles than Sasha. Because Bayley wows me in the ring. Sasha's good. I'm not going to sit up here and say that Sasha's not a good wrestler, but I like Bayley more when it comes to wrestling. But so I'm taking Asuka beating Bayley, but Sasha's going to beat Asuka because they had a match. Naomi had a match, beat the clock match, to see who would face her first.
Right.
And Bayley lost. So Bayley has to go second. She has to go second. I mean, no, sorry, first. She goes first. So that means Sasha's going to get Asuka when she's tired. She's already been through a match. So I'm thinking she's going to retain. Then we have Seth Rollins versus Dominic Mysterio in a street fight.
I got to go with Dominic, unfortunately.
I'm not. I'm going to go with, the God, the Monday Night Messiah.
I think this is going to be where Dominic now becomes Prince Mysterio or whatever it is. So
I think that what endears you more as a babyface is, and Seth actually can do it where he puts him over in defeat. I think that Seth is going to beat the shit out of Dominic Mysterio. Yeah. Although I am intrigued to see where Dominic goes. And I think if you have it be just a climb up from a loss as opposed to just, oh, he won. He's the son of a freaking former WWE champion. Of course he won. That's kind of just like, eh. It's kind of like don't get me wrong. He earned his freaking shot by taking 30 kendo shots resiliently. But I think personally, with the ongoing just humiliation of the Mysterio family, you have nowhere to go but up. And I think that trajectory is what he wants for his kid, which honestly, Mysterio as a babyface has always been a thing in WWE. Yeah. So I think it's just a fitting thing for Dominic to don the mask and just be a babyface as Prince Mysterio.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna throw an extra match in there for you guys. Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole tonight.
I don't give a shit.
I'm not bothered.
Pat
McAfee's probably gonna kick him.
Yeah,
Pat Mc. There's probably gonna be a spot, right, where like McAfee has him like entangled on the second turnbuckle, and then punts him like in the solar plex. And that's the spot. That's the kill shot that he has. But Cole's probably gonna win.
Yeah,
I think you have to have Cole win. You cannot have Pat McAfee win this match.
It's Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg's NXT, bud.
You're putting a guy who's really never wrestled. I mean, he does have talent. Don't get me wrong. Pat McAfee does have talent in the ring, but you can't bring a guy who plays a punter in football and beat a guy with 400 and something days as champion, NXT champion, the longest reigning champion, and have him drop to an outsider. I mean, they did it. They did it with the Big Show with him losing to Floyd Mayweather, but that's Floyd Mayweather.
Well, in that. Right? If he loses to McAfee, Roddy sees that and he goes, "Why the fuck are you the leader again?" And then that informs the Roddy Cole feud that they've kind of been simmering beneath the water.
I would like to see that. I would like to see that. But just it is no longer a hair versus hair. It is just loser leaves WWE.
Okay.
So, and then we have Apollo versus MVP. I'm thinking Apollo is going to win.
I think
he's going to go over.
I think
again,
that's it.
He needs to either have a slight gimmick change or turn heel. I'm tired of the smile.
I think with the next defense after MVP, then it'll all be revealed that, oh, hey, I was actually in the Hurt Business this whole time. And we've kept the fucking title to ourselves this whole time, and it's been fine.
Yeah. I mean, that could happen.
Yeah.
And then we have one pre-show match, which is Matt Riddle versus King Corbin.
Matt Riddle goes over.
Matt
Riddle easily. I think he might be the next big thing for SmackDown.
Yeah.
At first, was I for the whole bro sandal kickoff thing? No, I hated it.
I'm still not for the whole sandal kickoff fighting.
Dude, I am starting to like it more and more every week.
Get a pair of boots.
No, don't listen. Don't listen to him.
Fun fact, right? So
I hated it when Rusev came out in barefoot. So
I work at Planet Fitness. And I hear reports about like other Planet Fitnesses in the area, and I work at the Florida one. And sometimes he'll go with a guest to one of the Winter Park Planet Fitnesses, and he's gotten a number of notices that says this member is aware that he can't wear slides at the gym. So that's not just you want to talk about living kayfabe. He lives that. He lives that shit. All he does is wear slides all the time.
He did it when he was fighting in the Octagon. So
yeah.
I mean, he did that in the Octagon.
And also, I don't think Matt Riddle, to be honest, has a gimmick. I don't. I think Matt Riddle's Matt Riddle.
He's a fighter.
He's a pothead fighter, and he's not going to stop.
Yeah.
And I believe also, from what I hear, and I believe me and Sean, talked about a little bit, that Stephanie has said that if you're going to use marijuana, to do it on your own time and very discreetly. She doesn't care. She said, I don't think that it's that much of a problem, but if you start to come to work high and
I know,
know,
Triple H.
if I'm
I know
smelling
Triple
it
H-
in the arena, it's
I know Triple H is a huge fan of Matt Riddle. Triple H loves him, but at the same time, he is also like looking down on him because he does use substances. So
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
because if you think about it, if they're letting him get away with the weed, but then they're nailing guys for the pills. I mean,
two different things.
two different things.
completely-
But at the same time, listen, if I'm wrestling high, I'm
No, a drug is a drug.
I'm a liability. So, when they do all these testings for these, wrestlers, well, somebody can literally, somebody's going to bring a lawsuit and be like, well, I tested positive for this. Riddle smokes weed and he doesn't get a suspension. It's just going to cause controversy, man. Like the next person that gets fired or gets sent to rehab is going to throw Matt Riddle. He's going to throw it out and Matt Riddle smokes and he doesn't get in trouble. And Vince is going to have a big problem.
It's a private owned company,
right?
So at the end of the day,
if you're getting on somebody about one drug but you're dismissing another, that's a problem, man.
Okay, but here's the thing.
You even said it. A
drug is a drug, but my 24 years of living, no one has ever OD'd on marijuana.
No.
So I think that there should be leniency with it, but I do agree that, if it's not legal 100%,
somebody's gonna complain because listen, weed is weed and it's a drug is a drug, and you're right, no one's OD, but there's guys literally taking painkillers because of the injuries they've sustained.
Yeah,
and if I go to work because I have a painkiller because my knee is bothering me, and they go, hey, piss test, and I piss and I'm positive popping for a substance, and I get fired. But then I watch Matt Riddle come in with eyes bloodshot, high as shit, and he's not getting fired. Oh, believe me.
Oh,
Vince is going to have a problem on his hands if they continue letting him do what he's doing.
Yeah, but at the same time, RVD has done it in the past.
Yeah, and RVD's gotten suspended for it in the past.
Yeah, but
we can't say anything bad about RVD anymore. He's living his best life on Impact. He's dating Katie Forbes. He's literally getting paid a bunch of money. Like,
I don't know if I live his best life. He looks terrible now. But
did you not see what he says on his Twitter? He's just like, quote unquote, I'm living my best fucking life.
He's living his best life because he's wrestling. He's still smoking weed, not getting in trouble for it. He's dating Katie for it. I mean, literally, to him, he is living his best life.
Yeah, to him, yeah. But you have people like RVD who, yes, have got in trouble and yes, have, got suspended, fines, whatever. I believe R-Truth has had his trouble in WWE with pot.
Trouble with pot.
Jack Swagger, Jake Hager has had his problems
with pot. So literally, you had guys that had trouble with pot in the past that gotten in trouble. You have a guy now who's smoking, and you're just going like, oh, well, it's okay as long as you do it on your personal time. Little bullshit I call on that end.
I think it's just more so a thing of just like, as the world changes, which it's always changing, the perception on marijuana has always been shifting.
It is shifting. Right.
So like, I think that people, especially sports organizations, are starting to recognize that now. And I'm not saying that, no one's ever like Luch said, no one's ever OD'd on weed. But, I understand that there is an issue with like coordination and so on and so forth when it comes to performing an athletic feat. I myself, like, I've smoked, ain't for me. But like, I was cognitive of my motor functions, and honestly, it affects other people differently. So like, if Riddle can go for an hour with just like a little bit of THC in his system, I think it's okay. He's not popping pills from what I understand. He doesn't drink. So like, Especially
No,
that if you're crossfading like Hardy used to do, like as a substitution for the pain pills, like, ugh, you know, then you have a fucking Sting at whatever pay-per-view that was in Impact
Oh
where
man, that was
Sting had to.
horrible.
Turning point. That was terrible.
Terrible. That's terrible.
Oh,
So
God.
so yeah, like I think in this particular case, it's all on a case-by-case basis. If it starts affecting people, then obviously yes, you need to do things about it. However, if it doesn't start, if he's fine and he is able to work, then I think that, you know, he's fine.
And the thing is also, I don't think he's coming to work blazed out of his mind.
No.
I don't think he's coming into the stadium smoking a blunt. I don't see that. What I'm saying is he likes pot. He says, I would rather smoke this joint than take these pills that I can get addicted to. I mean, people can get addicted to marijuana. I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah, you can.
But it's a lot easier to get off than anything else. So I see where he's coming from. And like Danny said, he doesn't drink. He doesn't do anything besides smoke pot. And if that's what you want to do after your match, when you're in your hotel room to relax and to calm your body down, do it. But don't be, because when you make it a problem and you come in all fucked up, like Jeff has done, and like a lot of people have done.
Yeah, Kurt Angle, all of them. I can go down a list.
Like a lot of people have come in.
I can guarantee you there is someone in WWE that smokes weed on his spare time that that has been considered the face of the company in one instance, and that's Roman, because he had cancer, and those and I know the cancer that he had, and those pills are a killer migraine. So
yeah, but at the same time, we're talking, that's medical. That's medical use, though.
So
even still, I think that
we're not talking. That's medical. That's a whole different situation.
Matt Riddle has a medical card, and that's why he gets a pass. Okay. Matt Riddle has a weed card to say, listen, and he got it by saying, I am a fighter, and I don't want to kill my body by taking pills because I am in pain all the time. So they said, okay, well, here's smoke a little bit of weed. And so he does have his card from what I've read.
Well, then that changes. Then you know what? Then that changes my whole perception on everything, because if you know medically you have a medical excuse, I have no reason to be mad.
Exactly. And I think, and there's been a lot of wrestlers that has smoked pot a lot. And I mean, RVD didn't start until he went over to Hawaii. And it was on a podcast one time I heard, they sat down and they start passing around something. He was like, no. And another wrestler was like, come on, kid, it ain't nothing serious. And then he took one hit, and he's even said it's history. And he's been a pothead ever since. So, but I think that if you're going to let Matt Riddle do this, I think you need to make it clear that he has a card. And if other wrestlers want to follow his footsteps in a way, you can go.
You may do so.
But, you know, it has to be certified. I have to see proof that, like,
I have to have
yes, exactly. The document paper.
Yep.
And I think that would actually save a lot of lives in the wrestling world. I think if this would have happened sooner, we wouldn't have lost Eddie as soon. We wouldn't have lost some of the greats that we had.
Absolutely not.
From painkillers. I mean, it's not a hidden thing that, like, you shake a bottle in, you know, the 90s locker room and people were like, because
true,
that was the thing. So
took a bottle of IWC, people turned their heads.
So to stop addiction, because that's what it is, it's an addiction. This could help. Now, will you be addicted to something else? You possibly can be. Do I know people that are addicted to weed? Yes. Do I know people that smoke weed? Yes. That's two different things. I think Matt Riddle smokes weed. I don't think he's addicted. I think RVD is addicted to weed.
Yes.
I don't think Matt Riddle is. I think he uses it for purposes that it's meant to be. I think that he does his, indicas at night and his sativas in the morning, and that's okay. But I think that wrestling should take a note on this, every company, because the drugs in wrestling are crazy, man, crazy.
Yeah.
And it's always been.
And we can leave that. We can leave that.
5 minutes.
We can leave
to
that for.
Dynamite.
We can leave that for another show too, man.
Yeah.
But Danny, it was great having you on, brother. We enjoy your time. We'll bring you on
Appreciate
again.
y'all.
We'll bring you on again sometime.
For sure.
So you take care, man.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Peace out. Oh shit! I removed you by accident, brother. But hey, folks, that is all the time we have for our show this week on Loudmouth Off the Top Rope. Come from you from Loudmouth Sports Group, Loudmouth Sports Talk. But folks, please make sure you go to bombshellbowling.com/Loudmouth Sports Talk. Get your t-shirts today, $20. We now also have out is our hoodies. Our hoodies are now out, folks. $40 from small to XL. XL, anything bigger than that is $45. Make sure you go there. Miss Michelle is tremendous with our product. She's been helping us get all of our product pushed out. She couldn't thank her more. She was just here on our roundtable just this past Tuesday. She has a lot of more ideas coming. Once again, folks, next week is our game show. If you want to be part to see if you know more than the best comedian in Pittsburgh, he is the runner-up for the best. He is one of the finalists in the best comedian in Pittsburgh. He is Pittsburgh's own Matt Light, aka Shawn Michaels' illegitimate son. So that's his favorite wrestler in the world, and he says that's his dad. So therefore, Shawn Michaels, if you're out there, you might have an illegitimate son named Matt Light.
So that means I have to look up some Shawn Michaels questions. We got to
Yes.
see how much of a fan you really are, Matt.
Yeah, Matt. Got to see how much of a fan you are, buddy, of Shawn Michaels. But you also look like Kevin Owens on crack. So, but with that said, folks, thank you for tuning in. We will see you guys here next week at 4 p.m. for Loudmouth Off the Top Rope with Ringonology with the famous comedian Matt Light.